folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy. We are here today looking at a couple of maps before we work on one of our own. These are commissioned maps that we got from our partners. The first one up that we are going to be looking at is from Nightly Lore Maiden. She gave us this Mines with an Elevator Shaft map that we asked for. So you can see we've got like a little bit going on over here in the top right corner, where the mine shaft is, and then we have this minecart rail that comes all the way down here and kind of terminates into this southern path with what looks like kind of a cave-in with like a fallen minecart and stuff like that. We are going to show you a couple of other things with this map. So we're going to take steps through here. We've got a variation that has no elevator shaft, so either it's higher than this level or it broke, fell down, that kind of thing. Otherwise you would see some kind of string or something like that. We've got another version that you can see down here opens up the path, so the cave-in has been cleared out, and then we have a kind of combination of the two, so no elevator and then that little piece there. But what we're going to show you next is pretty cool. We did enough variants for this map where when it posts on Patreon tomorrow, it will be the most amount of variants that we've had on one map. The next thing that kind of came closest was we had 36 variants for the Cupid's Forest map, but that was 12 variants per map in a north, center, and south collection. So here's why we've got so many variants. We have made our very first phased map, just adding water that completely overruns this area. Oh, you know what? I don't know why I didn't do this, but I should have. So we've got 13 phases of this map, and then let's show you how it kind of looks when it's all put together without me having to cycle through it. Magic. It really did come out pretty nice. This is obviously a little bit of a lower quality version of the map, just because the stuff that we got is downgraded because it's a GIF form. But when you do your phase and everything, it looks a lot nicer. So we sent that over to Nightly Lore Maiden. She really liked it. So cool, don't drown. Blah, blah, blah. So she really liked it. I think we may have to touch some things up. I might not go super crazy about it. You can see some of it kind of came into like the area around the cliffs. Again, I don't know that I'm going to go nuts about that for now, but maybe down the line we'll do an adjustment there to make sure that it's clean. But I don't think that we have to do too much. Yep. Anyway, let's go out of here. We'll go back to the overview and we'll come up to our maps, and we're going to look at the next map from That Nerdy Kev. So he had previously given us this Hillside Cemetery map that I don't even remember if we looked at on stream. Very cool map. He did something that is wildly different than the version of the graveyard that we have. Our graveyard is very gloomy, very grim, very gritty. And his looks like any cemetery that you would just find during the day. It's well put together. It's it's arranged very well. There's nothing that I really complain about from like a base level here. He did a very good job, and this is his second map that he's done for us, and probably like somewhere around like his 10th map overall. So he's doing a wonderful job. We did a like alternate version. Let me see if I can find. I wanted to tweak some things just because I like kind of playing with other people's maps and seeing like what I would do differently. So the only like big things that you'll see is we kind of arranged the trees that were not the evergreens to be kind of taller than them, and sort of like stretch their way into like their proximity instead of every tree being separate. I had kind of, I feel a sneeze coming on. Did I talk it away? I don't know. Anyway, so I kind of gave him bad advice and made it sound like all the trees shouldn't be touching, and that was not what I intended, but I should have been more clear. I have a habit of telling people things that are an incorrect presentation. The only other thing that we did was we made the steps look a little bit more like hewn stone, instead of looking like the steps were like kind of brought in and placed over top of the area. So just a little tweak that we did, and we added a little bit of shadows to the cliffs to make them have a little bit more depth. Let's take a step back. We'll look at the variants while we're here. Since we're here, we did a moonlight version, set during nighttime, where not too much has changed. We used our version, and that was about it. Then we did either a grave robber kind of thing or zombies, however the game master or dungeon master would want to play. That is completely up to them. And then my favorite was this one. So we have recently added those character tokens, so to speak, that we used in the Stealing Saramore race map, and I thought that it gave us the ability to do some pretty cool stuff. So it's subtle, but you have things like this where you can have I think I used the screening blending style, so they look like ghostly apparitions. So you can see there's a couple of ghosts here and there. I think in HD they would turn out a lot nicer, but we've got a fourth ghost here, and then over here we got our fifth and final ghost. So it was a cool thing that I thought we could add to the experience, and this is going to be among the first of our stretch goals for our Kickstarter. The updates to let everybody know who's previously done one of our Kickstarters that update went out earlier this week. October 15th is just 3 weeks away, so we're very excited to be able to kind of bring that to life. The first campaign did really well, and we're very excited to do this next one. I think with all the stuff that we've learned, with all the collaborations we've made, we're set to make something that was even better than last time. So I'm very excited for that, and I'm just excited to bring more Tellest stuff to the other people who are out there. Let's go into our map for the day, which is going to be the Forest Wishing Well. I was looking for points of interest to kind of commit to this part of the forest. I think that I found something that works out pretty well. We have this wishing well here, which was kind of like our base piece of the map, and then I thought, for some reason, I went down like the Alice in Wonderland, rabbit hole, so to speak, and I came up with this kind of idea to have like a mushroom staircase that led to a fairy who's just relaxing on these mushrooms. So we're going to continue working on that real quick. Let's see what we can do. Do something like that. And the good news about this is it'll help me to do some kind of manipulation with like the sizes and stuff. Let's see. Actually, let me see which ones I've got here. I've got this one, which is come on. This one here, which was 6. This one here is 5. So let's do 7. Is this one 10? No, this is 100. So let's do this one. And we'll move that down a layer. Actually, what we'll do is scooch that down a little bit. I actually might make this one a little bit bigger again. I want it to kind of look like it's curling a bit, but I want to be able to show that there's depth as this is kind of twirling in that direction. So then let's go to, we only have really the 3 that we can use. So we'll do this one, throw that even further down. I want it to look like a staircase. So let's see the size. 60 is pretty good. And let's do... That's fine, we'll just keep going lower. And depending on how I feel, I might kind of tweak this and make it so that they're not all the same color. But I do kind of like the way that we have that structured. Let's do a little bit of something else as well. We have, I think everything is currently on. Yeah, everything is currently on the background. So let's do this. We're gonna disable the mask effects and let's do a tiny little pond. Let's do something like this. I'll play with the foreground real quick. So if I put that together there, let's do something a little more like this. And we're going to come back in here and we're going to add with the circle so that it's a little bit more precise. Because I want to make sure that around here everything is kind of taken into account. Okay, and let's do a little bit of this brown. Go back to the background layer. Further up, and then let's mess with the hue a little bit, or maybe the brightness. We'll screw with that a little bit. Make sure that the placement's okay. That's fine. Okay, that looks pretty good. And what we're going to do is go into the brush layer one more time. I don't know why I stepped out of there. We are going to go back to the forest and we're going to find some of those leaves. So we've got some fallen leaves and we're going to put these on top of the little pond. Let's see how that looks. Those leaves are a little too big, so let's go down to the... We'll make the texture scale 50 instead. Alright, it might be a little too many, so let's try and just do like little passes here and there. A little bit more natural. So I think we got ourselves a second point of interest there. I think that looks pretty good. It's definitely different than any of the other stuff that I've done, so 66 changes is a decent amount, so let's save that real quick. I think we've got a lot of stamps on this map because I moved out from the other ones, but I don't usually get rid of the stamps in case I want to be able to reference something again. So we still have everything from the Forest Shrine map plus the maps that we put together for the forest entrance and the forest lake. And there's even stuff up here from the forest holes map. So we've got a lot going on. If I was going to come in here and do the resize map and add these back in, everything should come up as normal. And I think the way that we're doing things from here on out, that kind of makes a lot of sense doing it that way. I think going forward, whenever I'm working on a zone, what I might do is go, and I can't do it with any of the ones that I have now just because of the way that I've been developing them. But I think from now on, what I would do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because in that way, what you can do is keep the things intact, even if you are going to move away. It isn't like, all right, I'm doing this one down here after I've done this one, so I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to go and do this one, and I don't need this one. Doing it this way makes it so that you can always bring everything back and work on everything all at once. So again, haven't done any of that. It's been a little while since we've done like a second map in a zone. I think the last time that we did that on purpose was for the Hidden Harbor stuff. But anyway, let's try and add a couple more things into this map so that it looks like there's stuff blocking the area and things like that. Let's see. Let's go into the forest. Actually, let's look at the core real quick in case there's anything I can use. Got our bushes, and I think we've used quite a few of them already, but maybe we can put a couple more here and there. Oh, that's a cap. I don't need the cap. I need the bush. Throw a couple more in here just to make it look like things are layered a bit beyond just what we see. Do another one over here, but make it a little bit more lush. Okay, we've got this big fallen tree up here, so I don't want to do any logs or anything like that. I've got the other one over there with a little bunny on top of it. So we don't need anything kind of crazy over there. I really do like this little slumbering butterfly fairy. Let's go back into the stamp set and see if there's anything else that kind of speaks to us. Core set doesn't really do too much for us. Let's go into the forest set. Let's do a couple of these guys because we really haven't had any of this kind of stuff in there. Let's bump it down to, we'll do like 40. Okay, you know what, let's do one or two more real quick just because this area up here that we really didn't play with too much. Alright, we've got that, we've got these carrot crops, we've got herb crops, we don't really need to do anything there. Let's do a fern or two. Looks similar, acts different. That over there, a couple over that way. Some right there in the clearing. Go into, oh god, flowers in place. I like to put the blue flowers next to, you know, water elements and stuff like that, so we'll do that one. Maybe we can do another one that's under there. Go and get our pink flowers. Maybe we'll do 3 sets of these. Oops, you're supposed to be lower than the tree. Are you lower than the tree? Well, in any case, you are now. And let's do one more. Something over there, and let's go to our yellow flowers. See if there's a musical instrument that we have. Well, it would help if I was looking at everything. Let's see, we've got trinket boxes. No. Instruments. Not a lot to work with. Alright, we're going to try something a little different here. I don't know if this is going to work as well as I want it to, but we is going to try it out. Alright, that looks like the smoothest that I can get it. There is a method to my madness, I think. No real clue whether this will work or not, but we're going to experiment a little bit. Okay, and let's see if we go in and look for cloth. We've got the cloth roofs. That may work for what I need it to do. But maybe not. I think I need something a little straighter. Let's go into some of these other modes real quick. No, it's not doing what I want it to. Alright, let's go and look for one of the other ones. I know, I was looking at like the way that they were doing stairs the other day, and it was different for sure than the way that I would normally do things. Let's try and do this rug instead. So this is a lot straighter than the way that we had it. Let's do... something like that. We're going to transform this. Oh, I guess I don't need the width, I need the height. Right? We want the height to be somewhere around there or so. And let's make the width a little bit lower. let's do the blend mode again real quick just to see. Yeah, I think we're going to go with normal. Alright, so right now, doesn't look like anything that we would expect. Let's do a group of this real quick. I think now that it's grouped like that, when I shrink it, it should stay the same size. So you're not going to really be able to see anything just yet. Because of the quality of this darn thing. Rihanna, if you're paying attention, let me know in the chat. So we're gonna do. All right, so Rihanna is paying attention. If I blow this up, do you know what this is now? Take this opportunity to hydrate. It is a pan flute. I made a little pan flute. And what we're going to do is make it that a satyr, since we were talking about that yesterday. Got spooked, and he's running off into the deeper part of the woods, but he accidentally left his pan flute behind. And that'll be one of our points of interest. So figure out exactly where we want to keep that. Something like that is fine, I think. Again, right now, won't be able to see it too well, but when it's zoomed in a little bit, it'll look nicer. We got this little mini clearing over here. I thought it was a good way to use that. Let's see. I have a feeling that what we're going to do is cut today short just because I don't really know what this final point of interest is going to be. And that's okay. But I don't want to keep people here going, what's he doing? So let's wrap things up. I'm going to hit save and we'll go to our show closing screen. So folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest out there in the internet. Tellest.com is a great first place to start because it'll bring you to all the other places that you want to go. Misery is trapped because of Luna. We'll talk more about her in a few moments. We've got 3 premium sites that you can go to check out our stuff. Patreon.com/Tellest is the place that you want to go if you want to subscribe to get our maps at a really good price. You can also buy the maps in their variant packs from us for about the same price that you can get as Drive-Thru RPG. It's like a nice one-stop shop for just all of our stuff, and we are working on bringing the older stuff into that kind of shop experience for you. But the best way to get our maps is honestly with a subscription on Patreon, so definitely consider going through that route to get to our stuff. Tellest.etsy.com is where you can go to get our battle maps in physical form. We've got these great big 18 by 36 inch maps that look great. There's a reason that we sold nearly half of our stock at the Renaissance Fair. It's because they look great, they feel great. You can use them as a mouse pad after you're done and everything. Just a really good thing to be able to use there. We also have stickers, bookmarks, our Tellest Visions art book on there. Lots of cool stuff. Brianna's magic wands. All of that is available on Tellest.etsy.com as well. Battlemapfantasy.com is where you can go to have a trusted platform if Patreon and Etsy have you a little shaky. Drive-Thru RPG is like one of the best known RPG resources, and you can find 113 of our maps on there right now. And if you go to battlemapfantasy.com, it legit is just the Tellest partner page. We scored nicely with that domain, so definitely head over there and take a look at that. We've got the 2 TikTok channels that we have for you to check out. TikTok.com/@TalesWithTellest is where you can find Rihanna's captor. Luna is currently hunkered down on her right now and won't let her up, but you can also see some of Rihanna's stuff at TikTok.com/@WeirdWitchWands. That's where you can see all the stuff that she creates and crafts. We've got 2 other sites for you to take a look at. YouTube.com/@WorldOfTellest is where you're going to be able to see all these videos well after we're knocked off of Twitch after the 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it is, when they stop carrying the video that you've been working on. But twitch.tv/thattellestguy is the place that you want to start with, because that's where you can talk to us live. That's where you can get your quest coins. We're going to be coming back with new episodes of Quantum Quest Live very soon, and we've got some very cool stuff to show off from that, so make sure you get your quest coins and all that good stuff. That is going to wrap us up for today, though. We'll be back tomorrow to do some more work and to hopefully show off some of Matt's work, because he's been working on a lot of maps behind the scenes, and it'll be good to check all that out. But that's going to wrap us up for today. Thank you for joining and stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Until then, I miss you.